immediately.
Back at it again with those technical difficulties. It's just a pro boat thing.
Yep, here we go. Here we go. I'm good.
Pro.
It's a probo
Hello,
thing. It's a
hello,
probo thing.
hello.
All right. Hello and welcome to our newest addition to the Proficiency bonus lineup and continuation of our spooky Sunday series, Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostmaiden. Before we begin, I would like to thank some of our sponsors that have made the show possible, which are Twitch, Streamlabs OBS, Little Dragon Corp. You can type in Little Dragon in our chat for more information. And if you use the coupon code PROBONUS, PROBONUS, at checkout, you'll receive a 10% discount on your order. You can also type in cardboard CCG for our newest sponsor, Cardboard Castle Games, for more information about them. And they have all sorts of tabletop and card-based games for you to peruse. Now, I'm your compassionate and also loving DM, Sarah. There are a few familiar faces with us tonight, all the way back from our last adventure party in which they all defeated Strawn von Zorovich himself. However, this another time and another place entirely. But the tale we begin tonight might as well take place in Barovia, for all of its grey sky-filled isolation. But at least we start in Faerun. However, this is nowhere near the cosmopolitan cities of Waterdeep or Baldur's Gate, and so we travel north, far north, past the spine of the world into the frozen far itself. And ladies and gents, they say, and so the story is told. And as all good tales do, it begins in a tavern. An inn, if you will, called Sarvin's Watering Hole. A relatively new place, it is named after an adventurer from the region. You're all in Bryn Shander, the largest, most populated of the 10 towns. It is late afternoon, and the sky is its usual gray color. It hasn't changed hue for years, and you suspect it will remain this way until the end of time. A portly human male is cleaning out glasses at the bar. He hums to himself as he works. The wind howls loudly outside, but the interior of the place is warm, nice, and cheery enough. For now. The door then opens and a figure stumbles through the front door as a blast of chilly wind almost knocks them over to their feet. And Kevlin, please introduce yourself.
All right. Anybody looking at this figure walking through the door doesn't really see much more than furs and leathers that probably everybody else wears while wandering outside. But as they come in and sit down and start to take off their face covering and hood, not much really can be seen other than some sort of black, kind of like skin, but not quite at the same time. You think it almost might be hard, and their eyes, unlike the average human or elf, are in fact glowing, faintly but blue. Um, they don't say anything at all as they sit down and just sort of warm up for a moment.
The barkeep greets you. Name's Gallum, and my word, welcome to Sarvin's Watering Hole. Beverages are plenty, foods of the comforting type, and rooms are available upon request. What'll be for you then?
They just sort of nod, wave, and just sort of lean back in their chair.
Alright. Let me know if you, happen to need something to quench your thirst then. He nods to you and begins to pour a mug of dark ale. As he whisks around, he knocks over the glass already at the bar. Oh, bugger! Look at me, all thumbs today. So sorry about that, RNG. I'll wipe that right up for you. Next one's on the house. He takes out a rag and begins to wipe down the countertop. And Dave, please introduce yourself.
That's no trouble, I say. Just quickly trying to brush off any of the splishes and splatters off of my far too decorative, furred, and almost like glittering like the snow outside robe. I'm short, rather well average height for a dwarf. dark skin, especially for the climate, but deep and lustrous in its quality. Voluminous, icy kind of blue hair, uh, beautiful red painted lips, far too many kind of decorative, glittery things across my chest and fingertips. Um, Much out of place, however, quite the picture of someone you might want to talk to if you're looking to maybe increase the quality of your life in such a barren, icy land. Uh, Warming myself up at the bar tonight is just a brief little respite from my bigger quest, which is to maybe meet a few of the locals and see how things are doing and how I might be able to persuade them into a new way of living, a better way of living in the warm hands of a higher power.
Alright. Fair enough. Alright. This one's on the house. And he finishes, pouring you a glass of, very fine wine and sets it out in front of
Oh,
you.
well, an upgrade. Perfect. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. He turns in the direction of a figure that is sitting alone by a roaring hearth and shouts down the length of the room to them. Everything alright there, Sir Grey? And Ink, introduce yourself.
Let's see. Sir Grey. A mysterious man who one day just showed up in Bryn Shander and has probably spent a good portion of his time in this inn. Um, they say that no one has ever seen this man's face, as he is always wrapped up in what seems to be either a whole bunch of furs, but then also this strange, very, very bright blue metallic armor. Very notable that half of it is indeed like partially melted and very, very damaged. Seems to be well worn armor that also has just been kind of pieced together out of kind of foreign metal. Where the mystery trails off is a very, very large man who seems to hunch kind of off to himself, not necessarily to be standoffish, but mostly to not take up too much space and let other people kind of have their way about the inn. Um, he is wearing that helmet even now when there's probably a plate of food sitting in front of him. And he doesn't turn when he speaks, but just simply says, everything's all right over here.
Let me know if you need anything else.
Will do.
Suddenly, a banging at the door breaks the pleasant silence you were all getting accustomed to. The door slams open with an icy howl, and a halfling woman struggles to close it behind her. She looks pale and afraid. Gods, what is it, Caritha? Are you okay? You look white as a ghost. Want to sit by the fire? Gellum starts to stride over to the woman. She shakes her head and shivers. I appreciate it, Gellum, but I'm on my way home. I just stopped in to tell you the latest news. A third one was found. Farewell, you have a gift of 5 gold from the chat.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
That's a lot right
And
now.
10 gold to Anji in case she wants more fine wine.
Oh my god. Thank you. Thank you.
Caritha shakes her head and shivers. I appreciate it. Oh, I said that right. Gellum stops in his tracks. Same as before? The same, she replies. Mutilated beyond recognition and missing their heart. Oh, bless them. She wipes a tear from her eye and straightens a bit and says, also, the food donation will be increased this time. And tonight we're to do as other towns be doing and making a heat sacrifice for the night. Gellum's face sags from his cheerful facade. Heat! They're making us give up the heat? Next we'll be like those bleeding podunk villages around here and sacrifice some people. Caretha shakes her head and says, oh, it's dark times for us in 10 towns. Why, if I had an old gran, I would have packed up by now. Anyway, I must get a move on. Please stay warm and safe tonight. And with that, she exits the building into the blustered evening wind. Gellum goes to shut the door behind her, and keeps muttering heat to himself as another figure strides in, passing her by. And Jim, introduce yourself.
A hobgoblin enters the inn. He is a kind of a surly looking gentleman. He's got well combed black hair and a goatee, and wearing a kind of a long leather coat that seems to be made of a few different types of leathers. He seems rather distracted and just kind of like mumbling to himself a little bit and occasionally scribbling a thought down on a piece of card that he has. And he kind of bumps into like one of the tables, turns and kind of scowls at it as if it should have jumped out of his way, and then makes his way up to the bar and kind of eyes the bartender and looks at him and just says one word, whiskey.
Why, whiskey it is. I'll get you a glass. What shelf are we looking at? Some, rubbing oil or some fine stuff?
Maybe a drop of the finer stuff, please.
Ooh, we've got
Got a
some of that.
dreadful. I don't need any oil at the moment, thanks. But I would rather warm my belly.
Gotcha. Right away, sir. And he starts fiddling with some, bottles at the back of the bar, and he pulls down, like, one that looks pretty dusty and kind of dusts it off and opens it and pours it out and offers you a little sample to sniff.
I
Meet your
uh, I
approval?
ta- I take it in the glass and kind of warm it in my hand a little bit, and give it a toss back and do one of those kind of like slurps, like when people are like test tasting coffee or something. That'll do all right. Yeah, thanks.
Fine. I don't pour any more. Things begin to settle down for a moment, and he begins to polish more glasses, Gellum, when suddenly an old gnome walks in from the back and welcomes you loudly, saying, "Ah, yes! Dear friends! The ritual commences in but a half an hour's time. I will await your arrival in the back room as I prepare the rites." And he walks away smiling from ear to ear. At this point, you hear someone slowly coming down the inn stairs. Gellum looks and says, "Oh, please, don't tell me that old gnome woke you up there." And Nate, you walk sleepily into the room from the stairs.
Yeah. What you see descending the stairs before you is quite the gaunt figure, light ash gray skin, really gaunt features. It's almost as if his tattered robes were filled out by a skeleton alone. Not much meat on him, but what draws you more than all his unassuming features is his sharp white hair and his voided blackened eyes that just seem to scan the rest of the room just to see what's going on. And he descends and says, "Oh, no, it's nothing. He didn't wake me. Don't worry." And he's gonna go and sit down at the bar and uh, uh, it's an ale, please.
Ale it is, my friend. And I'll go back to the bar and start pouring a thing of stout ale for you. And just so you know, Evander has some some player inspiration, so some inspiration for you, Evander. Gray, maybe in a difficult moment he thinks of a song that reminds him of home. Has some bardic inspiration, and I think that's it. Now everyone has a gift to start the game with our love, says the Bit Fairy. So thank you very much, Victoria, for doing that. Um, you see Gellum look up, and he says, "Well," as he gives Nate his ale, "you see, Ronaldo was an old adventurer around these parts. That's the old gnome. Not quite unlike yourselves, I suppose. One day, well, his son went missing around 5 years ago, I reckon. And ever since then, he's been different, trying to dally with the other realms. Listen, I'm not sure what it'll entail. Probably nothing but listening to him tell old stories. But at least it'll be a bit of entertainment for you tonight since we'll be without hearth. I missed a paragraph. He's not long for this world anymore, Rodolfo is. He is a dear friend of the family, harmless enough. If you lot would be so kind to indulge the old man's wish as well. He looks misty-eyed for a moment and switches gears. Drinks on the house, and I'll even give you a room for the night for free if you indulge him.
Well, it's free. I'd rather not turn down anything that's free. Thanks very much.
My sentiments exactly on the matter. And doing right by an old, wizened, heroic adventurer sounds fantastic.
Oh right, yeah, that too. Yeah, definitely me. But like the way he says it, like you you can tell it's empty words. He's just saying, "Oh yeah, totally."
Yeah, her too.
Okay. Galen will sort of
Okay.
gesture towards the back room and look at Evander like, are you gonna help?
I suppose I will. You say he's trying to meddle with other planes, the other side.
Not
What do
really.
you mean by that?
We don't think that he can do anything too harmful. He's more of a character around town. Like he's just trying his hardest to find out information. Really bring himself some peace.
Ah, well then, I suppose it's not the biggest deal to indulge the stories of one older than myself.
The innkeeper all of a sudden sees Farblack standing behind everybody at the bar and pointing to themselves very enthusiastically. I don't know if everybody else would notice this or not.
Oh. Yes, good friend. New friend. Do you
I
require
point to the
something?
direction he was pointing to, like the back room, and then point to myself again.
You'll go? Wonderful. I appreciate it. And how about you, Sir Grey?
Um, he's been kind of like hunched over his table, and he like turns actually this time. He's got like the light kind of reflecting off of the metal helmet. You say that he's doing this because of someone he lost. He just has a ritual to try and contact the other side.
Why?
Pushes himself away from the table, makes the chair like squeak against the wood floor, and he stands up to his full like 6.5 foot tall height. All right, fine, I'll go.
Thanks so much. You never know what this means to me, family. He's been around for a while. And as you find your way to the back room, you find Ronaldo is sitting alone amongst a ring of pillows on the floor, with candles lit about the room. He is furiously writing in a leather-bound book and looks up as you enter. Oh yes, yes. How wonderful it is you've all joined me. What a fine group we have. Yes, this will be a fortuitous seance indeed. And he smiles warmly at everyone.
There's just a sigh inside the helmet. Very tinny sigh.
So we hear that you're interested in contacting other planes. Is that true?
Well, yes, yes. He ushers towards the pillows in the circle. Well, where are my manners? Please sit and introduce yourselves. I am Ronaldo, and I'm reaching the end of my years. I know this, and I'm filled with more questions than answers these days. And who might you be?
Right. Well, I furrow the end of my little fur cloak out. Go ahead and take a seat at the pillow that's most center facing him. My name is Anji, and I might have some answers for you if this little ritual doesn't go to plan, but we can talk about it after. You're already prepared, so we'll see what this is about.
Wonderful, wonderful. And he shakes your hand with both of his hands. And
Right, that's enough of that.
all right, all right.
Gray will actually come over, and as he'll actually go sit on the floor, and as he does, you can actually hear him be like, "Oh," and the like back cracks and the knees pop,
Oh, I
and
do
he
that a
kind of
lot
gets
too.
down. The metal kind of grinds against each other. He pulls the like it looks like it's like a bear skin or something that like goes from the shoulders like all the way down to like past his waist. You can call me Gray.
Right.
If you're feeling like being the respectful sort, technically Sir Gray.
Sir Gray it is. Sir Gray it is. Youth is wasted on the young, don't you agree?
I very much so agree. You seem like someone that has a lot of stories.
Oh yes, you should hear my tales around the frozen bar. But that's for another time. And he'll look expectantly towards the other three. Sit, sit.
I will plop down next to Angie, and you can see me digging in a pouch that I have at my belt and pull out a large card and just hold it up
That is beautiful handwriting.
and just point at myself and just then put the card back into the pouch.
Your name is Farewell? Ronaldo, pleasure to meet you. And he'll grab your hand. Oh, okay. Illusion type, I respect that. That's awesome. Cool. Alright.
Evander will proceed to seat himself at one of the remaining spots. Tousle his hair a little bit, lay back, propped up on one arm, and I'm Evander, if you need to know. I'm new in town, I suppose, but that's me. I'm Evander. Whoop-de frickin' do.
Here, here.
Whoop-de-doo indeed, young man. Whoop-de-doo indeed. Shouldn't be so cynical at your age.
Shouldn't I?
The hobgoblin is going to take the last chair and just kind of, check out its construction real quick.
Oh, it's on the floor. You're on a pillow on the floor.
Well, I'd rather not. Do you have any kind of a chair or something?
Well, you still hold hands with the others.
Ugh. All right. Sure. And he kind of, sweeps his duster back and, kind of settles himself on the floor, and he kind of looks to the person on either side and kind of gives them the "can you believe we're doing this" kind of eyes.
So Evander will telepathically speak to him, and will simply say, no, I absolutely cannot believe we're doing this. But if it humors an old man, why not?
Immediately, the hobgoblin shoves his hand like deep into his inside pocket and glares at you, and kind of says, "Was that you?"
Huh.
What was what?
Maybe.
What?
And Vander's just gonna pull his thin, long, strange skeletal hands out of his robe and just offer them to either side. And telepathically, yes, that was me.
Out of his pocket, he pulls a long metal rod that has a wooden handle at the end with a few kind of strange toggles on the handle. and he holds it in the hand that would be touching Evander, and he offers him that to hold instead of his own hand. And who's on the hobgoblin's left?
I think
I would.
Okay, you.
I was gonna say it's Gray because
All right.
he's been watching Kevek.
Well, he hasn't
much
actually
since he came
introduced
in.
himself yet.
Yeah, I know. And I've been watching since you walked into the tavern, probably. You've had most of his attention. A little bit at Farewell, because you two are the ones that kind of like came in. So there's just this helmet, half melted, with like 4 slats in it. You can't even see the eyes past it, and it's just staring hollowly at you.
He kind of, tries not to look at Evander, and at everyone else. He goes, "It's a pleasure to meet you. My name's Kavak."
Havoc. Wonderful. Wonderful to have you all here. I'm so delighted. And as he says that, a smile falters a bit as he continues. You see, I'm trying to contact my son, Clooney, who went missing in the snows 5 years ago to this night. I just want to know what's on the other side before I join him and my poor wife. So.
I see. I can understand. It's a very noble and oh, noble goal. Yes. Well, what can we do for you? How can we help?
Has it worked before?
Well, not exactly.
Well, if it had, we wouldn't be doing it again.
If, you see, there's a lot of wishing I'd heard from him, and I don't know what's right or wrong if I do it by myself. So I need some people here to kind of ground me. Please, everyone.
What exactly is the method that you're using to contact them? Because he kind of looks condescending a little bit. But it's like, you realize that it's not exactly easy to reach the other side.
Let the man do what he's gonna do. Whether it works or not, we'll see.
Yeah, but I want to know what's going to happen.
Who knows
So
what
wait
will
and
happen?
see.
All right.
A right merry band we all are. Get on with it. Go.
Please grab the hands of your neighbor.
Oh, all right.
I'll take his Gray's big frostbitten mitt, and then I'll just kind of hold out the screwdriver. It is a screwdriver. To
Sonic.
no, it's only Sonic if you really tap something with it.
All right.
He's probably got a gauntlet that like can palm your face, so it's probably pretty cold. But what are you gonna do?
All right. And then I offer the screwdriver to Evander to hold because I don't want to touch him.
He'll take it. One of those classics, just like casually one finger at a time around it.
Finger at a time.
Okay, so it's us three, and then where are you two?
There's Ronaldo here, Ray, Kavak, Evander, Angie, Farewell.
I go ahead and slip all of my rings off and sort of tuck them into a little saddle pouch. They've got a bit of magic contained with them, so I don't want them to mess with the ritual and all of the sort of workings there. Anyway, and I'll gingerly take Gray's hand and
No, you're next to Evander and Farewell.
Excuse me, Evander's hand.
Long fingers for you.
And Farewell's also very interesting hand, I presume. It's all just very interesting for me tonight on either side.
Farewell definitely squeezes too hard
Ooh.
You don't know if they know that they're squeezing too hard or if they're doing it intentionally.
Just, okay, lighten up there. Tap, tap. Okay.
To not do the same to Ronaldo, Gray will actually hold a closed gauntleted hand and then open it underhanded so that Ronaldo can just hold I don't know, one of my fingers. It's kind of small.
Right. All right. Farewell. Would you be gripping Ronaldo's hand as well?
I would probably look over and see what Gray was doing and take clue from that.
Okay.
Look across the way at you he's like,
get a blank stare.
Yeah, well, it's
no emotion.
Well, yeah, you get a blank stare too because you can't see any eyes, so it's just kind of a moment of
All right. So Ronaldo will look at all of you and light some incense, and then take your hands. Farewell and Gray. Smoke from burning incense clouds the room. It begins to
Kavik
waft,
sneezes.
begins to waft up to the rafters. He pushes back the sleeves of his robes and raises his hands, closes his eyes, and says, "Please, let me peek into the other side. Tell me what you've seen." After a moment of silence, thick frost forms on the inside of the room's windows, turning them opaque, and the candles go out one by one. Let's see. Everyone make me a charisma check if you choose to help Ronaldo on his little thing.
just a straight charisma check.
Just a straight charisma check.
Oh, if we choose to help?
Yeah, if you choose to help him succeed in his ritual, please.
Oh, what if I don't choose?
Then you wouldn't roll, I guess.
Then you don't roll.
Okay.
I got a 16.
Oh, you know what?
16.
I'm trying, but I'll probably be less helpful than helpful.
Instead of a charisma check, can I make a kind of a perception check to see if I can tell what type of mechanics he's using to cause the billowing smoke and the fogged over mirror or
Make an
whatever.
investigation check if you want to.
Investigation.
Or a insight check if you want to see if he's lying or not.
My charisma check was actually
I'm gonna do
a natural
investigation.
20.
It was a 20. That 20.
Minus 1.
Minus 1. 19.
But his first roll was indeed a natural
Nice.
20.
That bodes well for this campaign, right?
Anji had a 13. Not
13.
quite as impressive, but still better than average.
Yes.
My investigation was a 22.
You're investigating where this is coming from?
I'm just trying to see is what kind of I'm not really sure that this is possible.
You're fun at haunted houses and stuff like that.
Oh, it's possible. He is not controlling it right now.
All right.
It's not like he did a sleight of hand spell. With that check, he's not sleighting a hand and going ooh, frost on the window panes, gust of wind,
He's not like a seance kind of person where they're raising the table a little bit with their knees.
Nope, he's not pushing the planchette on the Ouija board or anything.
Okay.
Kepler went to the farewell gap.
I got a 16.
I'm sorry. You said that already, I think.
That's
You're not helping Jim, and Evander, are you helping?
Yeah, but 13.
13, alright. So that turns out to be enough. All of a sudden, Ronaldo's eyes roll back in its head, and he lifts from the floor an inch. "What brings you here?" says a different voice coming from his mouth.
Might I ask, who are we speaking to first? We all did introductions, so I assume it would be only right for you to do one as well?
Oh, hell.
I am the White Lady.
All
Are we supposed to
right.
know who you are?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm unfamiliar as well.
Yes.
Sorry, bit sheltered upbringing. Maybe a quick little icebreaker. Who are you, like, good, bad? Do you enjoy puppies or maybe sunsets?
Or no, Ronaldo's son. Let's go with that also would be a fun tidbit.
I hate mages. I've let go of Ronaldo's hand and I've like put it on my leg.
I know not who you seek. I
All
should
All
right.
probably
right,
So
make
well,
do you
room
have
for this
do you
one.
have anything of interest to tell us?
I didn't come back here to
Many
talk to any white
things
lady.
in 10 towns.
Quiet Grey. What was that again, Miss White Lady?
Many things happening in 10 towns. Put on a little mood music.
having to do with the sacrifices or heat crisis, or there was a woman that ran in earlier that was talking about all sorts of nonsense. Something to do with that?
No,
Oh, more things. Okay.
other things.
Well, I'd imagine so. I mean, there's lots of people that live in the 10 towns. So I imagine that some things are happening at any given moment.
Suddenly, a window behind you, in particular, Quebec, shatters and splinters you with glass. And on the remaining window panes is written, "Know my name," and vanishes. Ronaldo lowers to the ground and says, "Well, what happened? We're holding hands? Alright, let me commence the ritual."
Oh no, you
Hold
already
on.
did the ritual, sir. You're fine.
It wasn't exactly successful.
Are you okay? First off,
Yes!
at Quebec, because
Oh,
you just had a window explode into your back.
Oh right. Oh my goodness.
I probably have a few shards of glass in my coat. Do you mind if
what
if we try
happened?
to close up that window? It's bloody cold outside.
At this moment, Gil runs in and says, "I heard something, some commotion. What happened to my window?"
We were just trying to figure
We're
that out
magic
ourselves.
Juju, I think.
I'm sorry.
Um, well, you see, and I'll explain this to you as well, Mr. Ronaldo. We're trying to do this kind of ceremony that is actually, quite plausible as it turns out. I was a little bit skeptical at first. And whenever we were doing it, this white lady spirit tried to tell us a few things, and she seemed to be a mite tetchy because she exploded a window. Sorry about that.
Gellum looks confused, but Ronaldo looks interested. We 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 did it. We contacted the other side. The
We
White Lady.
contacted we
She's known
contacted
around these
something.
parts as a
What
spirit
can
that
you tell us
haunts.
about the white lady?
She's known in these parts in 10 towns around Lac Dinashire. As a spirit there. I don't know why she she would come here for anything. Very strange stuff indeed. And he begins taking out his journal and writing furiously in it again.
Is that bloody all?
Yeah, Ronaldo, who's gonna pay for the window?
That's not what I meant.
What else do you want to know? She's a ghost. That means it's possible to contact the other side. This is great news. Great news indeed.
You seem to be forgetting the entire invited someone that you weren't trying to get into contact with.
But that means
But
maybe
he's
Is
right.
everyone here so
Specificity
flippant
is
about
very
their
important.
magic?
I can narrow it down a little. Maybe reach my son.
She said know her name. Why?
She is well known around this area. Maybe she just, I don't know, expected you to find her famous? I have no idea.
Perhaps we ought to figure out who the White Lady was before she became the White Lady.
Perhaps
Well,
you should let
sure.
spirits be spirits and leave them alone.
I sort of agree. I mean, that all sounds very interesting and like a sort of fun dalliance and research project, but why is it our business? Or what if we don't find out her name, I guess is what I'm asking.
Nothing as far as I'm concerned. You've all helped me a great amount in my research.
Well, I'm always happy to help with research. And he whips out his own notebook and he starts taking, a few notes as well.
God,
What I'm
Look,
curious of
sucks.
is that town that you mentioned the White Lady is from. Any news from?
Any news? What sort of news?
And then she killed Dave.
Yeah.
She killed Dave right there.
She did kill Dave right there.
Ooh, the White Lady's killed Dave!
Let me see if we know anything.
On you, White Lady. What I'm curious of is the town that you mentioned the White Lady comes from, or is well known in. Is what rumor of that town? Something going on there that would bring her elsewhere in order to get the word out.
Let's see.
It does seem to appear that her only real words of warning that she really wanted to get out were many things are happening in 10 towns. Does that mean
Which
anything?
is,
That's quite vague.
you're right, yeah. I mean, does she mean like terrible things? Does she mean interesting things? Does she mean just, people going about their lives?
Gellum scratches his chin and says, "Well, I heard a rumor about East Haven, which is right on the lock. That they caught an evil wizard who killed some adventurers, and the town militia plans to burn the wizard at the stake. I hear the captain of the guard is looking for people to help with another task that may or may not be related, but that's all I know. It's very vague news coming here from East Haven."
There's always a bloody wizard.
I'm sorry, does that disturb you?
Respectfully, where there's wizards, there's normally problems. That's not anything against them. Fine, smart people. But when there are a lot of wizards, or one in isolation, there's generally problems. And I think that is not arguable.
Nothing against them, but whether they're in groups or singularly, they are problems. Okay, got it. Yeah.
Problems
If you meant
follow
large
magic
groups,
like
so
that.
like 2 or 3 wizards is probably good. I'm trying to keep a conflict from happening. Farewell, what do you think about the situation?
Just sort of get blank look and shrug.
All right.
Granted, I don't take any offense. Not quite a wizard.
We're back on this.
But I would be interested. They're trying to stop the evil wizard from being burned?
I don't even know. All I know is that he was captured after killing some people. Oh, more people did. Can't believe it. Especially after that bloke going around doing who knows what's with the corpses. Catching their hearts out.
Sounds like a necromancer. I wonder how he does it. The process sounds fascinating.
Now, see, we can't
All
just
right,
be saying
simmer
things.
down. Yeah, no, I agree.
No, I'm not talking about doing it myself. I'm just trying to figure out how it happens.
First off, you've just come in here. I don't know you, by the way. You just came in here today and now suddenly you're talking about how interesting it sounds. Here's what I'd like to know, okay? This seems to be a very, very interesting and eclectic group of people. Why the hell are all of you just wandering around in the frigid north? Respectfully. I think that's a fair question to start with.
I mean, I'm not really asking you details about yourself. Why do you have to know about me?
It's a general question.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. Oh,
Me
well,
and Farewell have got
I'll
nothing to say to
telepathically
you.
link with Farewell really quick.
Ah,
I'll telepathically link with Farewell really quick. Can you? Does this matter work?
You hear a very, like a very old recording with lots of white noise, pops, and fizzles, and all you hear is, yes.
nice.
Perfect. Do you want to or not want to tell your life story to this stranger in the room?
That's not asked. First off, I just said,
Mentally.
what are you doing here?
This-
People don't go
same-
here for fun.
The same sort of voice. It's not a feminine voice, but it's not a really masculine voice either. It's, I have my reasons.
So that's a no for now. All right, and then out loud I'll say, Farewell says it's a no for now.
You're seeming to misunderstand me. All right. First off, calm down. Second, no one comes to this place for fun. That's the most that I've learned since being here. So if this is going to become a chasing after ghost stories kind of thing, that's kind of just all I'm asking. For a tired man, please just make it simple for me. Please.
Well,
I'm asking as respectfully as I can.
respectfully, I can start the group off if no one else wants to go first. I'm a missionary. I'm just here to try and raise the quality of life of some of the woe-forgotten people of 10 towns. And yourself?
Oh,
Sorry, if you'd like to go next, go ahead.
sure. I was born in the area. Bit tired of my family, I suppose. And, gotta say, I'm quite green. But grew up in the area, so frigid north's all I know.
I guess I'll go next. I'm a bit of a tinkerer and an adventurer, and I'm just traveling around, seeing where I can apply my skills and seeing what interesting things I can invent to help the local people.
Okay. Unfortunately, I'm probably not going to have the best answer to my own question. I woke up in the damn snow and I walked over here. End of. I'd just like to know a little bit more about the people that are around here. It just makes
Right.
things a little bit easier.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, you're wanting to know about us, but you're not really being as forthcoming about yourself. If I got that right?
I've been as forthcoming as I'm physically able to be.
Can I
I
roll
mean,
an insight check
Yeah, you
on
can roll
Yeah.
an insight check.
Gray real quick?
Yep.
Ditto.
I don't have a card for it, but if
That's
Farewell
it.
did have one, she would hold up a card that says same and point to Gray.
Yeah. You can all insight. Great.
I got a nat 20. So I assume you're telling the truth. Which
I got a 12.
There's literally nothing more for this man to say.
Audrey speaks up. I mean, she's like,
But-
I believe that's all you know. If that's all you know, that's all you know.
But he because you got a nat 20, I will say he's not trying to be combative. If anything, he just sounds tired, like he's almost like been through many situations like this, and he's just trying to skip to the part that's useful.
Not again.
He doesn't want to bullshit. He's just like, look, I see. I'm just tired. Explain it to me like I'm fucking stupid.
Yeah, he's not trying to be evasive at all.
All right.
Well, Gray or Sir Gray? Which did you prefer?
If you're feeling the respectful sort, I do appreciate the title included, but I'm not going to wring your neck about it.
Sir
Gray.
Gray, then.
So
Rather than saying why you've come here, maybe you can explain to us why you might want to explore the rest of 10 towns and see what's afoot.
Because, well, I'm trying to figure some things out. It just seems like there's a lot of people here that are in sort of kind of trouble. I don't know necessarily if I'm going to be any use, but I like to make myself useful where I can.
Oh, well, that's a great thing. Here, the captain of the guard actually needs people. Sorry to kind of ignore you for a second there, Gallum. You said the captain of the guard was looking for help with this wizard, potentially? It may or may not be related.
Yes, the captain is looking for adventurers to help with that, or... Oh, I'm not really sure. No one tells me nothing.
Well, I guess if we're wanting more information, we know who to talk to now.
Well, I can tell you some other stuff that's... I usually don't really get out of, Brenchander with the inn and everything, but I know that the blacksmith here is looking for help with something.
And Kavik's pointed ears kind of perk up. You got a blacksmith. I'd love to have a conversation with him.
Oh, yes, we do. We have, let me mention this right. We have...
That actually probably would be a bad idea. Looks at my dented metal, messed up armor.
Do you need some help with your armor? I can help you sort that out.
We have, Black Iron Blades, which is a small shop and smithy in the north of the town square. They make the cheapest weapons in all 10 towns. Good quality too, but I know he needs some help with something.
Smells like a discount to me.
He might. He's a nice old bloke. Grew up with him.
Look, I probably got off on the wrong foot. Or maybe I'm reading correctly and y'all don't really want an old man around who's kind of stuck in his ways. I don't know. But I got a pretty good sword arm.
Farewell, who is 6'1", so nearly as tall as Gray, goes up and just tentatively sort of wraps an arm around his shoulders and starts leading him out of the room.
I am you've never seen such a hulking tower of metal just kind of become immediately sheepish and kind of hunch. It's like, I'm being walked away. Okay.
Back
Like-
out into the tap room and just sort of
Just walked
after bleeding them out, just tap them on the shoulder and gives them a thumbs up and points you, me, and another thumbs up, and then goes back and sits where they left all of their outer gear.
We're good. All Yeah, I have some weapons stashed by the hearth that I didn't want to bring into that little room.
That's fine.
So
You see on the bar, as you two exit the room, you see on the bar that Gellum had poured all of your respective beverages of choice onto the bar for you for your return. But you also hear a banging in the back room as if someone is putting a board up over a window. Muttering
legit.
muttering to Ronaldo, really, did you have to do that? Ronaldo's like, I don't know what happened.
That's gonna be bad when we turn the heat
I
off.
I will say it's quite unfair to blame him. We've got several witnesses that say he did not actually break the window.
I know, but
But
he shouldn't be meddling in those affairs anyway. It's beyond your scope, Ronaldo. Ronaldo says, never again. I saw that, Ronaldo. Don't think I'm not paying attention to you. And they go back and forth for a bit.
I'm going to go over to the window and I'm going to see, like, is there any kind of in this is a back kind of storage room. Is there any kind of maybe some tar or some sealant?
Yeah, there's some tar for like tarring the roof and stuff like that. Yeah.
I'm gonna take off my jacket and roll up my sleeves, and I'm gonna mix together some of this tar and kind of paste it around the wood to make sure that it's nice and a nice tight seal, so there's not a lot of air that gets in.
Oi, thank you. Great idea. I was just gonna board it up, but that caused the draft through the edges, the tar, so not touch.
Yeah, otherwise your whole end's gonna be freezing just because of this one place.
I know we're not giving up the heat tonight. Damn
Again,
10
until you get another window here, I'd keep this sealed up tight.
Thank you.
The tar will help with any of the moisture.
And where are you from?
I'm from lots of different places.
Alright.
Yeah.
I get little lots of his
Now who's not given specific information?
It's me. Also trying to institute a Highlander quote.
Oh, okay.
That's a pretty good. That's a pretty good reference. I didn't think of it. This really is like preschool. It's like we're gonna work together.
Because teacher put us at the same table.
He smells.
You're all your characters are all really interesting.
Can't wait to get to know you. Mm.
And Nate, you're from the area too, right? You said.
yeah,
Do you know the area or specific to Ten Town?
So not specifically Ten Town.
Okay.
Evander's just from honestly doesn't know much of the area,
Okay.
given his history.
Then
Recently, within
Oh.
weeks, has just gotten down from the mountains.
Then, Kavak would be the only one, since he had frequented Lonelywood, right? Is that what we
That's right.
decided? Since he had frequented Lonelywood and the rest of you kind of rolled in to do your own kind of thing, you'd be the only one that would know that, there are sacrifices around here from the 10 towns. When he keeps saying that heat is being sacrificed, that is because that is one of the sacrifices to the Frostmaiden. Heat, food, and your town, Lonelywood, is one of the podunk towns that he mentioned that sacrifices people.
Right. That's why I had to kind of get out of town. Is because it was coming around for sacrifice time, and
You know
everyone
that
was
there are
looking at the
vouchers.
stranger.
Yep, there are vouchers in there, and get your name drawn if you live there long enough. So.
Right. And what's
All of
easier
you
to
would be
sacrifice than
familiar
a
with.
stranger?
Sorry, all of you would be familiar with the 10 town like name and stuff like that, but you might not know all that about it if you had just came in. But I know Jim said that he had been here around, visiting around the 10 town for a while, so. use your discretion if you would know that or not. But tonight, Brinchander usually as a big city only gives up food, but tonight they're being asked to give up heat because of the other body found. Oops.
Ink
Oh, ink. Okay.
talking, but he was muted.
I thought it was me.
No, sorry, I was thinking in my head and gesticulating. Sorry, I'm Italian sometimes. No, I wasn't saying anything for you guys to hear.
Okay.
I was thinking out loud, and so then I just started forgetting that there are people watching.
He's thinking out loud with his hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Gray didn't specifically ask for a drink, what drink was poured for him? I'm just interested in what this barkeep thinks that I drink.
You see the fine wine, you see a whiskey, you see a dark stout, you see a, oh darn, I forgot what I poured.
Motor oil. I'm kidding.
No, I forgot. No, nothing for, I don't think, Farewell wanted anything, so you only see 4 drinks at the bar.
Well,
So,
I don't think she actually told anybody she doesn't eat anything.
no, but you didn't
But she
ask for
didn't-
anything.
I didn't ask for anything earlier. Right?
Yeah, so your return drink would have been, Gray, a amber
Shirley
ale.
Temple.
Amber ale.
Ooh.
Very golden in color. Nice fine head, very good.
As Kavik comes back into the bar area, he takes the new whiskey and just kind of starts swirling a little bit and just kind of like gazing around at the people, and he's really trying to check out Gray and examine just like what are the things wrong with his armor, because he said he needed fixing, and so he's just kind of analyzing what's wrong with the armor.
The most notably, like the helmet, and then like all on, or what would it be? His right side. Like he's mostly covered by a pelt, so you can't see too much of it, but you can see a little bit of. I know that he's not technically wearing plate, mechanically speaking, but for visual sake, it's like plate with this very, very bright blue metal. And like anything that seems to be on the right side looks like it was like dipped in lava. Like it is literally like melted and then like looks flash frozen. So the temperature shock probably means that there's cracks along the metal. Like a lot of like it looks like it's been tempered badly. Like it went from being very, very hot to very, very cold. And that's mostly it. So it's not like it's got regular wear and tear, like scratches and little dents, but that's just armor doing what it's supposed to do. But that looks like, it's messing with the effectiveness of the armor. I think that's not something that he's necessarily trying to hide. He's also holding that drink, and you just see the helmet like turn down to the drink. It completely covers the face, so there's no visible mouth. So it like turns down to look at the drink. And then like, just looks off in the
Kavik is
distance.
going to reach into his pack that he should have mentioned that he brought in with him and sit next to him on the ground. But he does have a pack, and he's going to reach into his pack, and he's going to pull out a small kind of a spool of that's got kind of like a metallic substance on it, and he's going to kind of like pull out a very thin kind of a sheet of metal unrolling from this spool a little bit, and take out some tin snips and kind of give it a cut. Next, he grabs a hammer and kind of taps it down a little bit, and then starts to kind of roll it in on itself until he's got this kind of long, about yay long metal kind of a cylinder, and then walks over and kind of puts it into Gray's drink. Here, and I don't know if you're going to take off your helmet, but you might try this.
He was watching you do that, and then it just tilts up very, very slightly. Those like dark slits in the helmet turn just a little bit to look at you. You would think, how can a helmet have an expression of such tiredness? But it tilts up just slightly, and he just goes, "Are you, like, special or something?"
I'm quite sure they will say so.
Did you just
What's
invent the drinking straw?
Looks back down at this little metal tube that's now in his drink.
Is it a bendy straw?
It's just rewashable and reusable. It's greater for the
Okay.
environment.
It's telescoping.
It's not telescoping.
Victoria called it out. Just Gray need a swizzle straw to drink through his helmet, she said.
Up through the eye, down to the mouth.
Just it's gonna sit on his helmet and
Yeah, one of those
come around.
Yeah, you.
Where
on the side.
is Ronaldo?
He's arguing.
He makes
with,
no attempt to use that straw. So sorry.
He's arguing with Gellum over the cost of the window.
I'd like to take a very deep drink of my wine and hop off of my little bar stool and just kind of waddle over into the conversation very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Angie,
Sorry,
how you
how
doing?
much? Fine, how much is the window going to cost?
The window's going to cost me like maybe 5 silver, and he won't pay a dime of it. Well, now you know, Gellum, that these things happen, and what do you mean these things happen? No one's going
Now
to...
listen, everyone, don't worry about it at all. Just take a 1 gold piece. I'll cover it. We were all partially involved.
No, fair lady, I couldn't accept this from you. I'll be taught out of his hide later, and he kind of glares at Gellum and I kid. We'll go back way. You took care of me, son. That's fine. Alright, Gellum, go get your stuff and just leave me be for now. And, I mean, Ronaldo, and, Gellum looks kind of like, almost dejected, but kind of like, more resigned. He's like, okay, I'll just finish making this window fit into this hole with the tar, and he's just like, no, thank you, kind lady, but we'll be fine. We just gotta sort it out between us.
All right. Well, if you don't mind if I borrow Ronaldo for just a second.
Oh, of course not. He's not. Go on, Ronaldo. Oh, okay, Gellum. What do you need, my dear?
I'll just shuffle him over towards the hearth very quickly and turn my back to the group that's sitting at the bar. I just wanted to speak with you about the ritual. It wasn't the person you were looking for, but it was successful in a way, so that's exciting.
Yes. I think I've made some progress.
Absolutely. You absolutely made progress tonight. I wanted to speak with you about the specificity, though, and maybe something I could give you to help.
Oh, okay. Anything.
There are like 3 of these like yellow and green like gems that are like posted on her neck. And she reaches up and unclips one of them. As soon as she does, like crystals start to regrow into the empty spot on the necklace, and she places it into Ronaldo's palm and says, "No, this, don't sell it, don't give it away. This is for you. That same ritual, I want you to have this in your hand the next time you do it. You won't necessarily get to the other side immediately, but someone will come to help you."
Wonderful. Why, this might be the thing I've been looking for. I would never give this away. Thank you, kind lady, thank you. And he bows over your hands and runs out of the room.
Oh, okay, those instructions when okay, well, good luck.
He's already
And say
writing in his
yes, I
journal,
guess.
like, this is the best thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. He's already writing that down. It's fine.
Alrighty, hopefully. Okay, well, that was better than I thought it was going to go. All right, now just go to the bar. You know what? Gallum, 1 more wine. I think I've gotten a big discount tonight on something special.
I'll be right there. And you hear
Oh,
him just
fantastic.
finishing up, and he shuffles his way out to the bar. Just got to let that hearth burn out. Anything else you want? Anyone? And he will begin pouring you your glass of wine.
Another whiskey, please.
Perhaps directions to the captain of the guard.
The captain of
Yes.
this guard or the captain of the other guard? Our blacksmith here needs help if you want to help him.
Oh, it's the captain of the other guard who's
Yeah,
looking
it's the
for
guard in the
aid. Oh, makes sense.
I think
Makes sense.
I'd like to get directions to the blacksmith, please.
Of course.
seconded.
Let me show you the map of Brinchander.
Map!
Map! Map!
Map!
It's the map,
It's the
it's the
map,
map,
it's the
it's
map.
the map,
No.
it's the map.
That I might have deleted yesterday and I had to put back. Let's see. Well, I stopped dragging the wrong thing? Yeah, sorry, you're not supposed to see that token page. But this
I see
page.
nothing, I know nothing!
I'm
Colonel Hogan!
memorizing all the names.
Yeah. So, Black Iron.
Oh, damn.
Black Iron Blades is where you want to go, and we will say that. Where? Let me draw a shape. We'll say that down here. Oops, I don't know why I did that. Two bunch of little boxes instead of one big one. We'll say that down here is the inn that you're staying in. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he'll tell you, oh, go northeast a bit down the main road, and you'll see the market square, and right north of there you'll see the Black Iron Blade. You can't miss it. Only smithy in that area.
Alright, Mr. Gray, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, we'll see if we can fix you right up. Seems like a challenge.
Probably. He just seems very little.
So resigned.
Not really, yeah, he's just kind of like, yeah.
Are
Okay.
you sure you don't want to have a wee dram before you go out into the cold again? You can use that wee pipe that I made you.
I don't smoke.
No, it's not a pipe for smoking, it's a pipe for drinking.
Fine.
Oi, what's that you had there? A drinking pipe?
Yeah.
And goes over and picks it up. Maybe
Yeah, it's just, Gray looks down as it is taken out of his glass. He's like just not moving.
Evander just clinks drinks with Gray and just downs his.
if you make me 10 more of these for my patrons, I'll
tell you what, while I'm over at the blacksmith, I'll knock together that many for you. Perhaps you can throw in maybe a couple of silver.
I'll give you a whole gold outright for it. And the rest of the whiskey bottle.
If you make it 2 gold, I'll even leave you with the diagram so you can make your own after.
Sold.
I'll pay a gold to leave.
No, drinks
all
are
right.
on the house
Greg,
tonight.
come on.
Drinks are on the house tonight, my friend.
But Bray does
This
bring
is
up a
too
good
much
point.
talking.
When are we going to head out?
It's
Let's
okay.
go now.
It's
We've
okay.
already had our drinks. Let's go out and find this blacksmith.
And let's.
Old guard and the hammer you're talking about, tell him that I sent you. He'll give you a good discount.
Wonderful. All right.
I love a discount.
Farewell. That's not me saying goodbye. Where are you coming?
I'm getting up all my warm winter clothing on again.
All right.
I don't know where Kelvin's card is. Give me 1 second.
Can Farewell get cold?
Yes, she's not
okay.
immune to cold.
Just saying. Just asking questions.
Sorry, I gotta look something up real quick. Where is that?
Gray just has like a little beaten up back, like not even like a back thing. Not like, oh, go to school. It's just kind of like a pack.
Satchel.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring you. No, we're gonna stay on this map for a second. Okay. Alright, so you head on towards the Black Iron Blades you want to look at anything else on your way over? The market's just closing up because it is late afternoon. It's like around 4:30 or 5 by now.
I'm so sorry. I have to continue to have bad charisma. While we're walking, I do look over it. Yes. Sorry,
I
no,
would
no.
like to look for some place selling either firewood or just blocks of wood.
Yes, yes, you can. There are many pallets of wood right now out for available for people. Not like an over amount, but there are some available. Over copious amount, there are some available. Not many people buying tonight because of the limitation on heat.
Right. I would like to buy like a very small log, like maybe an inch and a half wide around and maybe 6 to 8 inches long.
Sure.
That's so specific. What are you
Yeah.
going
It's
to be
very
doing?
specific.
I don't want it to be too big.
Oh, okay.
It's really big. I want to be able to carry it with me.
When people start busting out the measurements,
Yeah.
I'm always like, what are you playing?
Do you want to? And the guy asked, like, do you want a whole sack of it?
No, I just want one. Well, I would hold up one.
One? A copper?
I'd hold out a gold piece and like
He'll
change.
give you. He'll look at it and go, okay, and he'll go in and give you all.
My manager says I can't break anything
Yeah.
over a silver.
Can't break anything.
Y'all just
Fuck
you just walked into Dollar General and was like, can you break 100?
Yeah. So
Or buy one thing?
he'll
I would like to buy a box of candy, please.
he'll
Like,
give
do
you
you have
back the
credit?
appropriate change.
It's a
We won't try
banana.
to
What could it
hold it over
cost?
you, I don't think
$5?
It's a
Yeah, she'll give him a bow with her new log under her arm
Okay,
and meet back up with the group.
sure. Anyone else want to do any very specific shopping?
Do they have any kind of dried meats?
Oh yeah, definitely dry meats there. There's some elk. There's some seal.
I'd like to purchase maybe a gold piece worth of dried meat.
Okay. Um, does it matter what kind?
I prefer elk, but I'll take seal if you got it.
He'll give you a mixed bag of mostly elk, like 2/3 elk, 1/3 seal.
One third mystery meat.
1/3 Mr. Meat, and he will give that to you, and you have rations for I don't know how much rations cost. I'll look that up over break because it's almost break.
And I'm in the
No,
market.
I don't
for
want it
some
to be almost break.
It is
Parchment
almost
and
break.
ink.
Parchment and ink, you can find that readily too.
Or just a gold piece worth of both, please.
Okay, you get a ream of paper and you get some ink. Black ink or
And-
colored ink?
Oh, the black is fine. The black is perfect.
Black ink. You get a bottle of black ink, and he'll even throw in a feathered quill for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Does Evander also go and buy a very specific item on this road?
Evander has no money.
So
Oh,
So Gray is standing there with Evander, and the helmet just kind of turns. How tall are you?
He's like 5'11".
Okay, so it turns down, and you just have this big looming figure, and he just goes, "Hi."
Gives you that nice little wave. Ah, yeah.
And then the helmet turns back forward, and that's it. As I'm watching all of them go buy things, I just stand here next to you. But I stand next to you. And I wait for
At
them
least
to
there's
finish.
that.
so you were all in different parts of the market square, and as the carts close their doors and stuff like that, you all get group back together and end up at the Black Iron Blades at the front door. And as you go to open the door of the Black Iron Blades, we will take our break for the night. So thank you everyone in the chat for joining in with us for our newest adventure tonight. We really appreciate it, and we'll be back in like 5 to 7 minutes as we refill our beverages, take a stretch, and we'll see you soon. to Rime and the Frostmaiden. So here we go. Thank you, Matt Black, for contributing 8,000 to the traveling.
Oh my God!
Merchant.
Wow.
So thank you.
Wow,
very much.
thank you.
We love the traveling planar merchant. That will visit
Let me
us if we
let me
return
let me
gold.
put some stuff up.
Oh, Inkweaver has contributed.
Ooh.
Ooh. So yeah. So you open the door to Black Iron Blades, and you see a wildly red-haired, red-bearded individual with a very black and sooty leather apron on over a forge, just clanking away. And there is a wildly haired, red-headed female, about the same age as him, behind a countertop, just polishing the countertop as you enter. She looks up and says, "Hello, what can I do for you?"
It's nice to meet you. We're looking to do some repairs to our armor and perhaps
Oops, I put down
find
the
some
wrong-
weapons.
I bump into a table, and it clangs some metals.
That causes the man to look up at the clanking and goes, "Oh, visitors, I see. Okay." And he wipes off his hands and takes off his mitts and comes next to the woman, and they both look at you and say, "Repairs, is that? What kind of repairs do you need?"
Well, I'd like to see if my companion here can get some repair to his armor. He seems to have suffered some heat damage, and he's all distempered. I want to make sure there's no cracks.
They both look over, and the woman goes first. "I don't think there's any cracks, but we can even it out for you. Is it
fine.
uncomfortable?"
No.
"You sure? Not a pokey bit in there?" And the guy goes, "Leave him alone. He's fine."
You need help.
"Ah, yes! Issues. Yes, yes, we have got issues. You see, we had a good old sled full of iron on our way to town that was coming to here, and well, frankly, we think it was hijacked. It was due 2
What
days
evidence do you
ago.
have?
It was due 2 days ago, and we've had nothing. Nothing. And
Well, how
usually
about
this is a very reliable shipment, you see.
what type
So they're
of?
probably dead.
Yeah, that's pretty well sure. We'd be happy to go and have a look to see if we can find your shipment. But you know, nothing's done nothing for free. We're friends of the barkeep across town,
Ah, old
and he
Gellman
said
sent you.
that's right. Yeah,
The woman says, "Oh, he's such a flirt, isn't he?" And
but
he'll go,
no.
"Hush." Nice old fellow. Um, we'll be happy to give you, sis. We'll be happy to give you a discount on our merchandise, and let's see how many gold is missing. You'll find about. Let me make sure. Doo-doo-doo. 300 iron ingots worth in some thick black burlap straps. I mean sacks. And I'll give you 300. I'll give you 5 silver for each, and a 10% discount off my wares.
Oh, okay. Quick math. Let's see here.
5
That would
silver.
be
So that'd be
3
150
plus.
gold.
right. 150 gold split between 5 people. So then you would have a total of 30 gold pieces per person with the discount in the future. Is that correct?
Yes, anytime you're here in town.
Sounds grand to me. Do you mind if whenever we find it, if I could have a couple of just buy a couple of pieces of iron off of you?
Sure, 2 or 3. That shouldn't affect my sales too much.
Grand. Well, I'm in kind of a need of some equipment. Do you have any swords around here?
Oh yes, and he points to a back wall, and you can see a manner of swords there. There are. Let me just look something up. What kind of weapon are you looking for?
I'm looking for a rapier, if you have one.
Ah, yes, this one I'll do for you. And he takes them down and weighs it and says, "No, not quite right for you." And he puts it back up and he takes one down. And it's not fancy by any means, but it looks like there's a nice curvature to the grabby part of the sword, the hilt, I
Hilt.
guess it's called. Yeah, the grabby part. And so it has a nice curvature and almost like a extra kind of wire comes out around the edge. It looks very nicely crafted. I will
So
give
right,
it.
not too fancy. I prefer something that is more functional than fashionable.
Oh, then you'll be looking for this one, and he pulls out another one, 3 out of 4.
Another
That is
one.
very plain, dull tarnished silver, like a dull tarnished silver. It's not shiny or anything on the hilt, and he'll say that will cost you. What's it called? That'll cost you about. Rapier, you said 25 gold pieces, but with the discount, say 22.
22. All right. Do you mind if I give it a wee test?
Of course, and he places it out to you.
I'll give it a couple of bends to see how springy the metal is, and
It's got a
you
bit of
know.
spring, but not like it's gonna bend and break, and it's not like it's flimsy at all. It's a good
Okay,
heft to it.
that's good. A good rapier needs to flex.
And he'll point to the back where there's actually a little straw dummy. He'll be like, poke that a couple times.
I thought you said straw dummy, and I was like, he's back!
No, straw dummy, not straw.
Oh, the trauma just jumped out.
The dummy has like kind of facsimile of dark hair,
And it has
and
like little sharp pointy teeth. No, it's a straw dummy.
I feel the need to stab.
A mist comes around the straw dummy.
and so he kind of lines up and gives a couple of quick practice guards and cuts, and then a lunge into the dummy.
Cuts smoothly through the straw, and you pierce in fine, and it doesn't wobble. It's a fine blade.
Yeah, he pulls it out, but he's still kind of got this kind of concerned look over his face, and goes, I'm just not quite sure about 22. Would you do 20? Would that work fine for you?
Make a persuasion check.
All right, here we go. Persuasion, you say? Oh, that's grand for me. I've got a -1 in that. That's 14 -1. It's 13.
That's pretty.
You drive a
persuasive,
hard
isn't it?
bargain for me, and it's gonna be tough, but 20 will be fine. And
All right, thanks very much. And he takes out 20 gold to pay you.
Is there a shield anywhere on the walls?
there are a multitude of shields in here. You see wood shields, you see steel shields, you see some with decorative arms on them, you see some that are plain but have different symbols on them. What are you looking for?
The most boring shield. Probably wood. Probably like just wood, round, with a metal center.
Yeah.
A boss.
There's like a buckler there, and he will point that out to you and be like, I gotta look up all these things. I didn't know you were gonna go into shopping.
I think it's 10 gold.
Let's go shopping.
I looked it up ahead of time to try and be
Okay,
helpful.
cool. Thank you very much. He says I'll
I
give
did
that
not
to you
look
for
it up.
9.
He reaches into the bearskin. He has exactly 10 gold. I can't give you 9 because all of the coins are melted together. Is this enough?
And do they look like coins that were melted together, or is it just a
Yeah.
lump?
No, they're definitely coins.
Are they in a row, like a quarter sleeve, or are they
like they were like piled in a bag and then got like part, like you could probably like hammer them off of each other. They haven't melded.
He'll go to you, it's okay, friend. And he'll take the thing from you, go over to his anvil, and kind of give it a strike a couple times with his hammer, and one will roll off, and he'll pick it up. Here you go. Change.
Thanks.
Farewell would also like to, if she could see something, point at one of the daggers on display and
Oh
just
yeah.
like a simple, sharp, throwable. I
Sharp
believe it's 2 gold.
Yes, it is. But I'll say 1 gold, 5 silver for you, and if you want to test it out, you can throw it at that thing, slashed a couple times, the dummy in the back, but it should do you right. It's just a regular dagger. It's not very ornamental at all.
Right. So hearing the price, she'll look over at whoever is next to her and just like shrug, like she's asking, "Is that good?" I'm not sure.
Kavek's gonna make one of these motions.
All right. You got an old man where you have him. Anything, 1 gold.
And I'll hand over the gold piece and pick up the dagger and chuck it at just from where I'm standing.
It sticks in there. Well, make a ranged attack check to see if you make it.
All right.
From there. And
I didn't have to make an attack. Why does she have to make an attack?
she's trying to throw it from far away.
Yeah,
okay, fine.
I'm not even moving.
You like auto hit that thing, but she's throwing it from a distance. It's gonna be a low DC. He'll this guy. His name is Garn.
Strong.
Garn the hammer. He'll go over. He'll look at his chunk of change, and he'll huff. And he'll go over to anvil, take another tink at it. Another coin will roll off, and he'll hand it back to you. Do you accept it?
I'll elbow him.
Oh, not.
Wake up! Wake up!
Yeah, to you, Gray.
He was looking at the shield.
Oh, figure all.
I rolled a 17 to hit.
Oh yeah. You fling it there in the headspace, in the middle of the head, and it just kind of hums there for a second from impact, but goes still. But it's nice blade.
Nod of approval. I'll go and retrieve it and tuck it in a pocket.
Where was this shipment coming in again? Where should we look?
It's
We?
coming from. What?
Right, we.
Where should we look?
Somewhere between here and Kelvin's Karn, and I will shift you over to a map. Oops.
Calvin!
Kelvin! Hey, Kelvin, if you're watching.
Hi, Calvin, if you're watching.
Icewind.
I got a shout out to Chris saying, I think this man may have been irradiated. Because I don't know.
Okay,
I'm gonna
so
change your name to Sir Chernobyl.
Brinchander's right here,
My brain is mushy.
and Kelvin's Karn is up here.
Okay.
So
At this
between
point,
here
the
and
band-
there.
Yeah, at this point, Evander's been leaning up against the back wall for a good part of 5 minutes now, just scanning the ceiling, kind of really disinterested with this whole buying situation. So, somewhere along that route, how long typically would a shipment take? How far? Like, how fast could we get there?
Let's see how many miles it is. I should know this. It just says it's, let's see, map. Oh, I can just do this on Roll20. Thank you, Roll20. So it's 17 miles to Kelvin's Cairn. So Cairn?
Your
Cairn.
world.
Cairn?
It's Cairn.
I can't do that Scottish slang. Are you
It's a
kidding me?
Cairn.
I know you can't do it.
I know. I
Cairn.
can't do
Karen.
Karen.
So Kelvin's Cairn. No, Kelvin's Cairn is 16 miles
Just
away.
say can and put an R in the middle.
16 miles.
Yeah,
Oh my god, guys, we have
17
big...
miles, actually 17 miles.
We have
So
big
you think
maps.
that if you take the road, like the most direct path there, it might take you maybe a day's travel to get there? Maybe look somewhere in between there?
That wasn't the direction that I came into Branchander from, was it?
Let me see
I don't think
real
so.
quick. You came into Bryn Shander from... Ooh, where did you come into Bryn?
I don't
Nope, you
think
came
it...
in... You came a little more east than that.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
So maybe you would have seen... Nah.
I'm going to say I was probably not super aware of my faculties and probably did not see it.
Okay, you came in very far east, so if you continue this way, do you see on the map?
Mm-hmm.
If you continue this way, that's where you would go.
Okay.
Be from.
So at least the beginning part of this trek will have been essentially what I want. And then the
Yeah.
second half, it kind of like difference. Okay,
Yep.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Gives me a little context. So Gray actually probably could at least tell you on a day.
Yeah.
If you look
Well,
All right.
fast.
then I guess the next course of action would be whether we set out now, happen upon maybe this shipment tonight, maybe tomorrow at some point, or whether we start early tomorrow. We know we probably have a lodging already for tonight, and then we're guaranteed to hit upon the shipment or whatever's left of it during the day tomorrow.
It'd probably be better to travel during the day. Traveling at night, I've found here to be quite harrowing.
There's not a lot of daylight. If you want to make it in the day, you're going to have to walk in the dark.
Farewell points at all of you with a questioning sort of shrug and holds up these two cards.
No, I agree with those two. I mean, if I understand there's not a lot of daylight, but if we could maximize the daylight while traveling, I believe that would be the best for our bodies in general.
And then seeing you didn't really catch on.
Well, I said yeah.
And
Whether that no, he knows what that meant. He said
hold up
yeah.
these two cards and point to herself.
Are
You
you
want to
saying
travel alone?
No, I think Farewell is saying that they don't sleep. Is that right?
That's really
all right.
impressive.
Must have a lot of hobbies. Well then,
She pats the log under her, still under her arm.
I can respect that.
all right. You know what? I'm
Do you
too curious.
want-
I'm telepathically linking with Farewell one more time. Now, what did you mean about the log and the hobbies thing? What's with the
Carving.
log?
Carving.
Oh!
One word is all you get. Carving.
Yes! I'm actually being insightful. I'm actually
that's
understanding.
lovely. All right.
I connect with you. I understand you. I too like to I don't wood carve, but my other character does.
You see the female looking over at you. She says, "Pardon me, are you a warforged?" Yeah. I see. I see. And she kind of like slinks back a little and says, You're the first one I've seen around here." And she puts out her hand to you to shake.
Sort of like unsure where this is going. Farewell will put out her hand and shake.
Garn kind of knees her and says, "What are you doing, Molly? That's rude." And goes back and says, so goes back and says, "All right, so you'll go after it in the morning?"
Bright and early.
All right, that should be good for me. Got all your winter gear?
Evander kind of just like looks about his
Cats.
robes and the lack of anything around him.
Y'all need some snow gear. And he begins just piling on top of their fur robes and cloaks, fur-lined robes and cloaks, and snowshoes for you. This will probably come to
the snowshoes.
Okay. He'll take, but he'll say hate to charge you when you're doing me this favor, so just take. And Molly goes, "Really, Garn?" And you go, "Shut up, Molly. Just take it."
I appreciate it.
Yes, very much.
I'll take a pair of snowshoes for myself.
Okay.
And maybe a scarf or two.
Oh, yes. Molly knits these herself. Actually,
Thanks.
What? You crochet? Yes, that's what it's called. And put up some scarves on the counter for you.
It's very kind of you to give us these when you don't.
He's a soft-hearted one. And Molly will step on Garden's foot.
Soft, hard hands, right?
What? She's my twin.
You're a blacksmith. Well, no, soft, hard hands. You got a blacksmith.
Oh, I see what you mean. I guess I do have a soft heart. I
tell you what, I really don't like getting something for nothing. I like a deal. So how about this? I'll help you out in your forge for a little while today before we leave tomorrow.
Can't say I wouldn't mind a pair of hands. Alright, you got yourself a deal, group. Thank you, sir.
Looked like Gray was like gonna say something, but like is very much not about talking over people, and at this point he's just kind of lost interest. But he goes over to Evander because you look very, very underdressed for this. He goes, "Hey." He holds out the two little gold pieces and he goes, "Get some gloves."
Huh.
And he just
Aww. God, I love these moments.
Thank you. I do quite appreciate it. Seems there's some hospitality in the frozen north after all.
some long gloves.
Quite long. And Evander is gonna do the of tipping his hat, one that he is not wearing, to the good old blacksmith. Well, if you need anything, we're staying down at, oh, now I forget where we were staying.
We're staying at Sarvin's watering hole.
Yeah, there. If you need anything, we'll be there. Unless, well, those of us who are helping in the meantime here, but I have other things to do with my time. And he's gonna
Did you
peel
want the
out.
gloves?
Oh, I can get the gloves from here. Oh, this was an armory.
Yeah,
No, they've got cloaks
sells
and
stuff.
scarves and gloves and socks and all sorts of things in this big old pile.
Snowshoes,
Come
too.
get some.
It has
Oh,
like general like outer gear. Like you wouldn't find
okay.
fine linens here, but it's general outer gear and blacksmithing stuff. So
Well, pardon my quite rude early exit there. And he's gonna shut the door behind him and shuffle up. Do do you have any gloves that might fit my hands? They're quite strange in proportion. I haven't really found things that usually fit them that well. Uh, and he's gonna just try and see what he has in store for gloves.
You have like freaking Grinch
yeah,
hands.
let me see your hands again. Uh, come
I'm
back
trying to make them
tomorrow.
more gaunt.
Back tomorrow, and I might be able to find you something
Thank you.
before you set out too. And is there anything else you want to do? He's just gonna talk to you a bit, Kavik, about like what's your expertise, what do you feel comfortable doing around the hearth.
I'm fine with any bit of smithing or tinkering. If there's anything that could be broken, I'm usually pretty good at repairing.
And your friend didn't want his armor repaired. Interesting.
I guess not. I mean, you
Ah,
can lead a knight to water, but you can't make him drinks, eh? And
true. Ha ha.
he just kind of tries to roar in laughter.
Um, so I'll say thank you. The rest of you, do you need anything before the evening ends? Otherwise, we're gonna close up shop, and I'll keep. What was your name? You?
Mhm. Me?
Oh, poke
Kavak?
Kavik
Oh,
hard
Kavik.
in the
All right, I'll
Oh.
keep
arm.
Kavik here with me, and the rest of you can leave, and I'll return them to you in a few hours.
But I will hold up the snowshoes and just give a little bow, like thanks for
Oh, you're
the
welcome.
gear, and then I'll leave.
Probably also just take some snowshoes.
Well,
See if I can fit those onto metal boots.
Yeah.
On second thought, no need to make special gloves. I'll just take whatever is available.
No, I was just gonna go look
No
around
treat.
for them. No,
No treat.
Molly actually. I was gonna send Molly to go look around for them, honestly. But no trouble indeed. She'll just go to the Emporium. She'll go, and you see Molly just going like this, like. Just come back tomorrow.
Sure.
Yeah, I have nothing else to do for the day.
Okay.
Out of character. I'm like, I want to go because we only have so much time, and I just met my new friends again. I want to be
So,
adventurous.
Kavik, he just has you banging out some simple like plates of metal just so he can later melt it and wrap it as other things. So it's
All
easy
right.
enough.
I also go ahead and I mock up, let's say 10 to 15 straws,
Mhm.
metal straws for the innkeeper. And I just kind of generally make sure my own gear is fine.
Yep.
Check the scales on my mail that I wear underneath my coat, and maybe make a few adjustments and improvements to the snowshoes that we got from them.
Sure. He takes note of that and says, "Wow, that's a good eye you have. I never would have thought of that buckle design and stuff like that." So he's impressed by your handiwork, and yeah. Anything want to happen tonight? Anyone else want to do anything in particular? Otherwise, I'll send Kavik on his way, and we'll progress to the next morning.
No, just return to the inn and get the free room.
Okay.
Wake up bright and early in the morning.
It does get cold. Without the hearth, you see that without the main hearth or the hearths active in your little rooms, like you have like a little open kind of furnace kind of thing. I forget what they're called, but you have one in your room, a wood burning stove kind of thing.
When I was at the forge, do you think that I might have been able to like grab a couple of coals and
Yeah.
put them maybe in like a metal
Oh,
container?
you can do that, but that was something that Gels was gonna do for you. Gel.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Because I was wondering if I could just make my own heat.
Oh, you can if you want to, but Gellum has already laid your beds out and put water, like hot water bottles, and like cold warmers, like
Okay.
underneath the water bottles underneath your sheets and the cold warmers underneath your bed, just so it's like a little warm, even though the hearth
Okay.
itself is out.
I would
All
just
right.
say, because if we all get rooms, just when he's finally alone, Gray takes off the helmet and eats and drinks for the first time that day.
Okay.
Like, he sat at that table with a plate of food all day and didn't touch it. Now when he's alone, he'll eat it. So,
Okay.
just so that I don't die.
Duly noted.
Evander's just going to minor illusion a fire where the fire would have been,
That's so
and
sad.
wistfully think off to a warmer night.
Kavik in his room is going to kind of lay out his gear and make sure everything is still functional. Twisting things, tapping things over there with that long screwdriver that he's got. And then out of his bag, he's going to take another kind of metal cylinder. This one is probably about as long as his hand is, and he makes a twist on it, and it extends and telescopes into a spear. And he's going to add some oil to bits of it, and just make sure everything's functioning right. And he's going to finally reach into his bag, and he's going to pull out this kind of a small glowing bit of crystal, and just kind of hold it in his fingers for a little while, and then hold it in his fist and put it back in his bag, and then get ready for bed.
Anything Farewell or Anju would be doing?
Audrey is shivering. It's quite cold, but drawing those new sort of like cold weather clothing around her shoulders, she stands right in front of the small window looking out onto the snowy backdrop. Can you see the sky, or is it totally cloud covered?
Oh, there's no clouds, it's just gray.
There's no moon or anything?
No.
All right. Well, feeling a bit uneasy about that, she'll go ahead and is there like a little wooden desk or something in the
Yeah.
room?
Yep.
She'll go ahead and take a seat at that, take out the reams of paper and the ink that she purchased earlier in the day, and start one by one on each of the sheets drawing these circles of like odd sort of shaped runes. They're like kind of runes, but they're also kind of gibberish in sort of an odd way. And as soon as she finishes one circle and the other like runes that skirt across the corners of the pages, she slides it to the side to let it to dry and keeps going until the entire ream is finished. It takes probably about 3 hours, and then she finally lays down to sleep after rolling it into a tight little scroll and tucking it into her belt loop.
Okay, it probably takes like an hour or two to do all that, because it's pretty intricate work and you have a good amount of paper, so. Anything Farewell wants to do?
Well, if you were looking in, you would probably see she wouldn't take off anything. She wants to stay warm, but would also kind of awkwardly just sort of lie on the bed, not really curling up or what you would think getting into a comfortable position, and her eyes would never go dark or close, and just lies there like that until it's dawn, and then she would get up like, she had a restful night's sleep and be on her way.
Okay. It is quote unquote dawn, and you guys all feel well rested. The water bottles and the little grates did pretty well during the night. Around the early morning, it started to peter out, but you don't feel like you were freezing for your life. So you hear the clamor of pots and pans downstairs, and it's morning.
Who gets up early?
Oh,
I have to get up early.
that
It
is
takes
awesome.
time to look this good.
Um,
Kavik has prepared so well the night before, he doesn't have to get up early.
sleeps in. Got it.
I would beat down as probably as soon as the tavern keeper would be and lights the main fire, just to
Okay.
keep the warmth up.
Okay.
And I would start whittling and carving on the log that I bought
Downstairs or
day.
upstairs?
Downstairs.
You don't
'Cause
see the innkeeper. You see a goblin.
As long as the
Lighting
fire
the
is
fire.
I'm downstairs.
And as you creep down, make a stealth check just so I know how silent you are. If you're trying, I know you're not trying to be silent, but I want to see if you what happened.
That is a natural one.
So the first step you take, it kind of goes kerplunk, and the goblin goes, ah, what's that? Oh, you scared me half to death. Oh, okay. As respect to
Did
the fire.
that say it in Goblin?
No, in common.
In common, okay. I recover my standing, and I hold up I don't see it right here, but I hold up the card that says sorry.
Oh, was Zeus just a take it in
hoping
mind?
that they can read.
Kind of peers at it, and like it takes a while. Like he's not the brightest crown in the box, but he's like, no need for sorry, friend. Zeus is sorry if Zeus scared you. All right, what'll be for breakfast? Cut? No. Don't know what that means, friend. Zeus will go make sure that you put everything, though. Master said that eat? No. Eat? No. What? No, eat. I won't eat you. Why would I eat you? I'm a goblin, not a horrible person. Oh my
I
goodness.
believe this wonderful construction does not eat, but
Oh.
I'll gladly take their portion.
All right. Master says there's one in the house for each of you, so you will take 2. And Zeus will go into the kitchen and start bustling around. And that's when the rest of you hear the pots and pans.
Oh, such a racket so early in the morning. I smudged my makeup. Good morning, everyone. What's on
Is
the
everyone
menu?
down here at this point?
Hmm?
Would everyone be down in the around at this point?
Kavik comes down last.
Yeah, I probably came down pretty early, maybe around when Anji was. He's already like fully armored. So he came down, but he was also like, all right, well, it's good to see that there's a lot of activity so early in the morning. It smells good too. Let me see if I remembered everyone correctly. Evander, Miss Anji, yes?
Yes, perfect.
Ms. Anji, and farewell. I kind of thought that you would be down here quite early. Nice to see that it's not a wrong assumption to make. Good morning, everyone.
And you yourself, Sir Gray, and it seems Kavik is the only one missing so far.
I trundle down the stairs, just kind of like wiping the sleep out of my eyes and pulling my hair back. Good morning.
There he is. Grab a seat, Kavik. We're about to have breakfast.
God, is there any whiskey?
But this early in the morning, probably in a place like this.
It's never too early for whiskey.
You're not wrong. Were you working quite late last night? Didn't hear you come back in.
I was at the blacksmith's. I helped him out with a few projects and made the drinking tubes here for the inn.
I never actually thanked you. I know what you were trying to do earlier. Guess I didn't thank you. It didn't cross my mind at the time, but I wanted to say so now.
I figured if you're not quite comfortable with taking off your helmet, you should at least be able to have a dram.
You're quite right. Whether it's a want or a need, I guess it doesn't really matter, but I appreciate the thought. Seems like a completely different person.
Yeah.
He's had a night's sleep and he's a human again.
Maybe. Or it seems like a completely different
Or whatever's
person.
under that helmet.
Ooh.
He's a boy in the morning, an adult during lunchtime, an old man.
I age throughout the day. If you catch me at 1 in the morning, I'm talking like this all the time. But
And at 2 in the morning, he's a little baby.
But the back still cracks. He still does, like, he gets into a chair, which probably creaks under because he's in full armor, and he's like, and it's still like crack. It's like, oh, I haven't actually slept laying down in a while. It's nice.
Hey, stand up or something. Just rest against the wall.
Standing, sitting, normally at attention. It's nice to actually lay down.
Once again, Farewell will hold up the same same as standing up and sleeping, which you might think is odd, or maybe not.
I like for all the wrong reasons, Gray is like, we just, and it's for completely different reasons, but he's just going with it.
Oh, that's right, Farewell. You were going to carve something. Did you finish your project last night?
You see a bunch of wood dust and a partially carved thing in the top of the log, but you really can't tell what it is yet.
Oh, that's lovely. Wonderful stuff.
Sorry, I hate to be the one to rush this along, but
I really
do
meant
have
that.
some important business.
That's true.
Which we wanted all of our daylight for, and judging by the brightness outside, I believe it's daylight.
And at this point,
Right.
you see a goblin run in with a bunch of trays on his hands and on his arms, and go, food, hot, and slams it on the table for you.
Thank you for the warning.
Let's have a quick bite to eat, and then we'll be on our way.
And
would you take it to go? Take it on the road.
You? And he looks at a note. Red guy. You get these. And he pulls out a little pouch. And looks at it. And shakes it out. And it's got 2 gold.
All right, yeah. And I take them and I look at the goblin and in goblin I say, thanks very much. It's nice to meet you.
He goes wide-eyed and gleeful and says, "I'll do this, so happy!" And goblin back to you.
Well, it's always nice to speak the old tongue, you know. I haven't spoken goblin in a long time.
So says, "You speak it very well." And he turns to Evander and says, back in common, creepy. Dude. And he gives you a parcel that's wrapped in twine and sets it to you.
Huh.
Evander, and
Thank you.
the parcel.
What about
Go ahead and unwrap that.
It has finely crafted leather gloves with really, really long fingers. Like, shouldn't be. Defies nature a little.
As in, they're even too long for my hand, or it
No,
Just
fits.
gonna flop
they,
around.
they're a little too long, but since they're leather, they kind of soften in, so they're fine.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's nice, isn't it? I'm gonna go ahead and just put them on.
What about me, little guy? You got something for me, right? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
And
Dude,
Azu starts
scared.
trembling, and Azu says,
No.
Azu says stuff in his pockets, and he pulls out a bunch of
No.
buttons and lint.
No.
I tell him in Goblin, he's playing a wee joke on you.
Oh!
I nod emphatically along with
Okay.
Kevik's words.
And Zeus will start putting the lint and his buttons back in his pockets and go, Zeus will leave you now, yes. And he'll run away back to the kitchen.
Nice buttons, though.
Oh no, we lost to Dave.
Jesus.
He's back.
He's back.
I'm ready to go.
And I scarfed down my breakfast. You know, don't want to start the day on an empty stomach.
Evander's tilted his chair back, feet up on the table, and he's just mage handing his spoon of his gruel into his mouth as he just hands behind, staring at the ceiling.
I take
Here comes the train. Ooh.
I take like bits of sausage and jerky, and they just disappear somewhere in my cloak.
Okay.
Well, I eat at a normal speed and find it fine. That's my thing.
I'm just taking mine to go.
Farewell is raptly watching each of you how you eat because she's like never had the chance to do so. So she's, which one would I choose if I had to eat?
If I were a real boy.
I love which one would I choose if I were to eat, and it made it sound like you were picking which one of us to eat. That was nice.
No, the food.
Never know.
Meat's back on the menu, boys!
Seems Evander would be clear in that regard, at least.
Some
This
people
is
like
not-
sinew.
Unless you're making stock.
Evander would be the most gamey.
No, you like a good Evander stock.
Yeah.
A little bit of
Sinewy.
leeks.
Oh god,
Some
I think my
garlic?
meat would be like marbled. Oh Jesus.
All right. Let's go. Let's get on our way.
Yeah, enough talking about
I don't think we're gonna
cannibal.
get stuck on any islands in this campaign, hopefully.
Don't say that.
Yeah, this is kind of a survival horror campaign, so might not.
Yeah, this is gonna turn into the rugby team in the Andes real quick.
Real quick.
Connor party.
I'm just gonna assume that all y'all are. I mean, you got here, so you can handle yourselves. But good to be in a group.
And Cabot kind of wipes his mouth and folds his napkin and goes, "All right, let's go. What are you waiting around for? We're wasting daylight."
Right.
All right.
Looks at the last one to wake up. Kind of thumbs in like the front, like where, like kind of like cowboy style, like in the belt. It's like, oh.
Well, he was the last to wake up, but he's very well prepared, and so he's ready to leave right away.
That's understandable.
Okay. So you
Let's
guys
go.
head northeast towards Kelvin's cairn, and as you reach about here, about halfway through, a blizzard erupts.
Damn, we just going right. Okay.
Unless you're not going right there, sorry.
No, I meant like we're getting right into it. Like blizzard time. Let's die.
Yeah. Yep. Survival
All right,
horror.
Kavak wants to find some kind of maybe outcropping of a rock or something he can.
Give me a survival check.
Survival.
Lasts for 5 hours.
Could I actually try and do the same? Try
Yeah.
and keep a landmark focus?
That is a 16.
Even if it's one of my companions, I would like to
You
keep
can
it.
you
keep
can
something-
assist either Kavik or Sir Gray.
I've already rolled a 16, so assist Gray.
Yeah, I would probably. Farewell would probably assist Gray anyway.
Okay,
And
keeping
he is
an
a
eye
very
out.
large person, so
Okay.
probably keep eyes on
So
him
roll
anyway.
with advantage, please.
Okay, and I'll use my bardic inspiration that I got earlier. As now that he's like out in the elements,
Yeah.
this is more what he's about. So he actually like thinks back to sometimes he's been into a similar situation, and yeah, let's see, that's gonna be 22.
Okay.
Now he's in his element.
With those rolls, you do find a bit of a rocky overhang that just has snow piled up on it, so you can kind of duck under there, all of you. And also, you manage to keep an eye, somewhere, like, you see a large mound of snow, and then you know you're under this boulder, so it's okay. You have a general direction of where you came from and where you're going right now. Are you stopping and waiting the blizzard out, or are you gonna push through it?
I mean, I'd rather not walk through a blizzard. So Farewell, I think, agrees with me. Let's hunker down here for a moment and see if we can ride out the storm.
Well, yeah, I think everyone can fit.
Right.
Best to just kind of wait this kind of thing out.
Oh,
I take out my folding shovel and I start like kind of patting snow into blocks and seeing if I can make a wall, keep us insulated.
Give me another survival check.
Gray,
That would
also
be-
make sure that all of you go in first.
That's
And only
a
then does he
15.
duck in.
Easy enough. In the time that the blizzard is coming, you make about a waist high on your wall. It doesn't go all the way up, but it's neat enough that you packed a bunch of snow down for all 5 of you, which is a feat in itself to go waist high. So it's about 3 feet high, and so you're kind of under this. And I suspect everyone sees what you're doing and tries to help you pack the snow, but you do it the best with the shovel. So yeah, you're waiting out this blizzard, and 1 hour's pass. Very cold. 2 hours pass. 3 hours pass.
We play 2 truths and a lie, learn a lot about each other, have a great time.
Nothing like
3 hours.
nothing
All
like
three of-
hunkering
all
down
three
in
of
a
mine are
storm to get
lies.
close.
Yeah, the wind is howling.
There's nothing like
Into
hunkering down in the
the-
blizzard to get close quickly.
Into the second hour.
Yep.
Evander's gonna go to the corner of the cave and just kind of hold his head in his hands and almost like rock to himself a little bit
Okay.
as he is gonna use his psionic discovery to try and learn a new sorcerer spell for a few hours, which would be 4 hours then from the time of the second hour mark, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I told you it was a 5-hour blizzard. I perhaps shouldn't have told you that, but that's fine. You can do that
Okay.
after now.
He would have done it in the second hour.
Yeah.
So
Anyone else want to be doing anything during this time? You can't really get away from everyone as you're kind of all huddled together for warmth, and he didn't have time to build a very big structure. It's kind of just under a drop in a boulder, and then you have like just you kind of lined up in a row.
So there's like a 2-foot gap between the top
Yeah.
of the rocks
Yeah.
and the ice wall that I made.
Yep.
In fact, you were pretty quick on
home
the
sweet
shoulder.
home.
Sorry, what did you say?
I said you were pretty quick on the shelter back there.
Well, I've been around these towns for a little while, and you pick up a few tricks.
I hear that. It's nice to know that Nice to know that not everyone is green. You know, it's gonna make this.
No, I'm red. I'm not green. I'm red.
I also tap like right near my eye, showing that I'm actually dark black.
It's nice to know that this is an experienced group.
Well,
Sure.
Look, most other people would probably be popsicles. I'm just gonna say.
true.
So, for what it's worth, good job
Anji, how are you doing over there?
with your boob window.
Does Anji have a
A
Power
little
Girl outfit? Is that it?
uncharacteristically quiet, especially at the popsicle comment.
She's
The
frozen to
boob
death.
window is currently covered as best as possible by the 2 cloak layers currently wrapped around her like a small child huddled under from the monsters under the bed situation. Yeah, when you ask her that, she kind of like blinks a little bit back to alertness and is sort of like, sorry, what did you ask? You said my name.
I was wondering how you're doing with all this ice and snow.
A bit chilly. The shelter is doing wonders. Just as good as I can for now. And the rest of you are doing well. That's what we were talking about, right? Does anyone have any stories they want to share while we have the time? Nothing personal, just sort of fun.
I've got a story. And Kavik proceeds to tell you what to him seems like a perfectly ordinary, yet humorous story of a group of soldiers. But just the kind of the way he talks about it, like to any other culture than a hobgoblin, would be very war crimey.
This
And-
is,
and-
this is really interesting. Okay.
And as he finishes, he says something like, "And then we burned the house down because he said that the evil sorcerer was inside." And he kind of waits for
Was
everyone
he?
else to laugh and goes,
Gray actually laughs.
"Okay, I
Not
guess you'd
because he
have to
found it.
be there."
Farewell is just sort of staring at you, and I mean, she always does, but it's kind of a strange, like, look this time. Kind of head tilted to the side. Just sort of curious, but also like, where did you get that story from, sort of thing.
That was something that happened to me whenever I first joined the Legion.
I was
You know, we
gonna ask you
hobgoblins,
that.
we love a good scrap.
I was wondering when it was going to be a good time to ask you about that. Yeah,
Did you
Yeah,
ever
bring it
fight
up.
against us?
I did 2 campaigns against a couple hobgoblin legions.
Ah,
Quite a long
I
time
bet you
ago.
came away with your fair share of wounds, didn't you?
Oh, we called you Bloodmen because
Ah.
after a battle you couldn't tell whether it was your skin or the blood of your enemies. Yeah,
Ah, those are the days.
yeah.
You know what we used to call. Are you a human? I can't tell.
Yeah, I guess I suppose you couldn't.
Well, we used to call humans walking targets because all you did was you marched up and down, and it was just so easy to hit you. It's like you're begging us.
Well, well, I'm still here, and a lot of them are.
It's just war. It's nothing personal.
You're right. You know, for a long time I didn't get that, but you're right.
Really? Were you angry at us? Because we weren't really angry at you.
No. I mean, we're probably not talking about the same 2 groups of people. It's just something that I'm guessing on, but No, I mean, I fought for my country and I fought for my countrymen, but no, I didn't hate. I'm too old for that now, anyway. And,
That's good.
I mean, you actually remind me of someone that I knew from back then, a while back.
Another blood man.
But we didn't call this one Blood Man. He ended up being one of us, one of our own, on our side.
More of a blood brother then.
But besides him, I had never ever seen another hobgoblin that was out without a legion. So when I saw you come into the tavern all alone, I thought, well, that's either a scout or an outcast.
When you mention allegiance, his kind of his smile almost like freezes. It's like if anyone were to roll high enough, I guess, against that, you would see that the smile is no longer genuine. But he kind of stops laughing, he stops moving around, and he kind of, just kind of nods and, still with that, plastered on fake smile, and just kind of ends the conversation.
I imagine that Gray is more kind of at the mouth, like at the edge where we all came in, so that he's kind of mostly trying to use his body to block the wind for you guys. But when it trails off, he just goes to continue scanning outside.
Yeah, Farewell has now shifted her gaze to stare at the back of Gray as he turns around, just contemplating what was just said.
We're a fun group, guys. I love you all.
At the back of the cave, Evander's kind of minor illusion, like a little ball that's bouncing across like the side, then the top, then the side, then the bottom. He's just watching it go, just trying to wait until it hits the corner perfectly, like the DVD sign. Just to pass the time.
That's so good, Nate.
Alright.
That's the best use of that spell I've ever seen.
The only use of my illusion from now.
And it's just funny because you're making it do that, so it's like, come on, just get into the.
Boop, boop. Boop, boop.
How long does this blizzard last?
5 hours. So it can be over if you guys don't have anything else to do.
You guys good?
I'm fine.
For now, yes. Although I will say, just so everyone knows, Anji is full turned around to look at the back of the cave and is also watching the DVD sign. But her gaze does flicker occasionally to the source of that magic with a very puzzled look. But otherwise, she's being very quiet.
Somewhere in that time, Gray would have offered if you want his bear skin. Like, would you say no to another cloak?
I couldn't. Well, I just found out you're also human and not, the Warforged. Just if you'll, yes, please, I'll take it.
It's fine. Nothing. No harm. I can see why you would make that kind of assumption, though. Here.
I don't know. It honestly sounded insensitive after I said it out loud. I'm just trying to figure out a reason to reject it. So, but I'd love it. Thank you.
I am too old to be wasting my time getting upset about something like that. Just stay warm. We still got a ways to go.
All right. Well, thank you.
With the last little bit of the storm, Kavik wants to be scribbling something in his notebook and just kind of looking over at Farewell with his head cocked to his side. Not in a creepy way, but just he's thinking, and maybe the thoughts are directed about Farewell, and he's just scribbling stuff in his notebook.
Farewell is staring off in the distance, but she's also very, very still, like unhuman-like, not moving, like a statue.
Farewell, would you think that you would make a perception check? Farewell.
All right.
already revealed that I'm
Probably
human.
not. That is a 5.
You do not notice anything, including Kavak looking at you and then vigorously writing in his notebook, then looking at you, then writing in his notebook. You do not notice that. But as the blizzard comes to an end, you get out of the little hovel and you make your way, and there's a bunch of freshly fallen snow. You, with your perception check, Sir Grey, know that which way to continue in.
Oh, my survival check from earlier, you mean?
Yes, your survival check from earlier.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
you made such a high check, you still see that little slope off in the distance, and you're like, okay, that's the way we should go.
All right. It's looking like it's going to clear up. We want to keep moving in that direction if we want to get where we're going.
All right, let's get on our way.
He goes to
How-
like try and stand up, and he like can't extend his back all the way. And he's like,
How high is this freshly fallen snow?
About a foot.
Okay. Okay.
Blizzard for 5 hours? I mean, that would be 2.
I don't know.
If it
I'm not
it was
Canadian.
falling constantly, it would be quite a bit of snow.
Okay, how long would you
well,
say?
maybe some of it froze.
Well,
I was
either
just
that or
making
it
sure.
here or there.
I
3
was just
feet.
making sure it wasn't like
2
we're
feet.
wading through like chest high.
I think snowshoes would come in handy.
2
They're
feet and some
wearing
ice.
furs.
Okay,
Sure.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, 2 feet and some ice.
Kavik is going to go over and help Gray to his feet and kind of pat him on the back. And when he does, he's going to cast mending over a small section of his armor.
How long does
Mm,
mending take?
I think it's just an
it's-
action.
It's an at will.
I think it takes. I thought it took
One.
a minute.
It takes a minute.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
you'd have to touch
Try-
me for an awkwardly long time.
Exactly.
that's true. All right, I'll take it back then.
Okay. I thought it was a
Trying
minute,
to-
so
Trying to sneak fix me. Let me be broken.
yeah.
You're just gonna wake up one day and all of your armor has been taken off, and I'm just fixing it, and you're just like, what?
Well, then you're gonna be turning blue instead of red.
Yeah. And on that note,
Oh, don't let that be the last thing. Don't end it.
No!
Sarah. Don't end it.
Ink, it's the last word.
No.
it's that time
Oh.
to end the session.
I want to stop.
I know, this has been great, you guys. Oh my god, this has been so much fun. Move my mic. So, this is, the time when we nominate either, each other or another player for a natural 20 in the session. I know some of you didn't get to use your DM's inspiration and stuff, so let me write that down, actually. Ink, I'm gonna say that since you didn't know I was gonna carry it over, you can still have yours. If you want a bardic inspiration.
Oh no, I used it.
Yeah, but I forgot to tell you that I was gonna carry it over in case we didn't use it, so
Okay.
if you want that, bardic. Who had player inspiration?
Nate.
'Twas I.
And, Jim, what did you have? Do you remember?
I don't think I had anything.
He has a add your
Add your
proficiency
proficiency
bonus
bonus, okay.
reward.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
No, so you get like a +2, I guess, on any roll
Okay.
right now.
A randomly proficient skill.
That way that, chat doesn't feel like their stuff's been wasted, and that way we can have you roll more next time, because this was such an introductory chapter that we didn't get to, get a lot of rolling in. So thank you, chat, so much for, contributing.
Yes, thank
that.
you.
And you have a game master inspiration, Sarah,
I
from the
do?
very beginning.
I do.
Yeah,
Oh!
that was actually the very
Destroy
first
us.
thing.
Oh! Did Bitfairy do that?
That was Bitfair.
Oh, I thank you, Bitfairy. Oh. I'm gonna write my own name down, Sarah. Alright, if anyone can think of a good, well, role-playing moment, or that's about it, role-playing moment.
Good old Gray just trying his best with a -1 charisma.
He's,
Just getting shut down.
you know, it's just so hard for me since I'm such a naturally charismatic person.
Mhm.
Played an alcoholic, mean dwarf and a like disconnected old man. I want to pass it back to Evander for just really getting the I'm creepy, but not in a way that makes you want to ignore me kind of way, which is really hard to do. That's a hard line to walk. Because he is off-putting, but in a way that I want to know more, not be creeped out, which I think is hard to do. So I'm gonna throw it right back at you, buddy.
Ooh.
I'm gonna put one out there for farewell, because it is a difficult job to be as interesting without speaking.
It is true. It's hard.
That's also very true.
We
So we got
have
three nominations so far. Anything from
I
chat?
was
Chat's
literally.
introductions are so evenly spread. So, do you want to do a group nat 20?
To get
Oh,
us
like we can all decide?
started.
I think that would work.
That
Oh,
way,
it'd be fun.
That'd be so
yes,
nice.
you can't decide. Although we do have one for farewell for knowing immediately what her telepathy voice would sound like. So.
Oh, yeah,
That's
that was
actually-
something I
Yeah, that was
planned in
sick.
because I
That was
knew
clever.
Good call.
it would
Good
That-
happen
call,
at
Chris.
some point.
Good
That is
call.
I think that can toss it over to farewell for that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll begin with a farewell.
We'll begin with a farewell. I like that. Let me get the
Episode
nat
title.
20 up.
Can that be the title of this episode when we put it there somewhere?
Person
First
introduced.
Yes? Yeah, what?
What?
Oh, we did begin with a farewell.
Yes.
I
We
like
begin
that.
with a farewell.
I
Oh,
like
such
that.
a dope title. Okay.
Alright.
Dave, are you okay?
No, I mean this. The stars aligning right now. Whew.
I can feel the universe coming.
Next 3 sessions is all Anji though. All Anji all the time.
Oh my god.
So, next time, you're out about 10 towns doing Lord knows what because it's the opposite of a hellhole because it's hell frozen over. How about that? Just remember to look forward to keeping some strangers company, and don't forget to add that proficiency bonus. And we'll see you next time. Where's my-
Goodbye.